Okay. All right. As I have said, this evening we're going to focus on debugging. We're going to make some tests to fail. Then after that, we're going to try to fix those failed tests. And then we look into backgrounds. We look into other issue. We look at how you can Google things out by yourself, and also if there's any issue that you find while working on your test, how can you fix them? So, and I want it to be interactive as possible. So if you have any comments or any challenges that you are facing while at work or during the course of the training, or even with the coursework that you are given, so this is time to put them forward. So, and this is going to be the last Selenium training that we're going to do. So, and so that's why I'm actually looking to finish everything, answer all questions, and look at what we need to do. So for next week, I plan to do API testing. So if you're able to finish it within 2 hours, that's fine. If not, we do the following week. I think, like I said, we only have 2 weeks remaining for this program actually. So I also intend to do one database um, course, maybe the following week, 1 hour, just to go through database and how to query database, different type of databases, and also different type of SQL statements, how to write SQL statements. So then we are done for this training. Thanks everyone for, it's been almost like 3 or 4 months now. Yeah, 3 months. Yeah, 4 months. I think we started around November. So yeah, so we only have 2 weeks left actually to finish this. So, and yeah, okay, let's start. Okay, all right. So this is where we left last week. No, 2 weeks ago actually. So we've done all this test. So we have two type of tests here. One is the traditional test without Selenium, and another one is with, well, sorry, traditional without SpecFlow, and then another one that we did was with SpecFlow. So this is one with SpecFlow that we did, and this one's also, yeah. So these are with SpecFlow. So today we're going to look into one of the things that we've not actually touched, which is background. And I said we're going to look, we're going to use the debugging uh, mode even for this training. So right now I will just say I don't know how to write what I'm going to write. So how do I start? Where do I start? So I'm looking at background. Someone has told me about background in Selenium before. Let's not say I don't even know anything about it. So where do I start? So from there we can write our code. We know the first thing we need to do, we need to create our feature file. So let's just start from beginning from there. New item, we create our feature file. So if you missed any of the lesson, there's a video online that I did, so look into that. I can quickly go. All right, so if you going to look at previous video that I did. Is in, if you just Google for my name and you will see my profile, then you can click on it and then go to video. And to set up the framework, I will advise you to read to watch the class 5 videos. So 1.1 from 1.1 to 5.1 to 5.7, yeah, 7B actually. So that will help you to set it up, how to set up Selenium, SpecFlow with Selenium. So then the other video that we did later on, it's here, so you can go through the other videos that we actually did. So okay, let's continue today's one. So like I said, I want to do background and I don't know how to do that. I want to put using background. Okay, so this is my test using background. So then what do I need to do? I would just say okay, so if you want to use background in SpecFlow, so you got different videos. So let's open two links. One is the SpecFlow and maybe to Skiway also. Okay, so the two Skiway is telling you how to use Gherkin, right? So we've covered the features, how to do fixtures. We covered the scenario. We know about scenario step using the given when then clause, and I think we've also used tag. Tag is, for instance, let's say right now I want to run the registration. Yeah, you can say, yeah, the invalid one and the valid one. You can actually tag your scenario, and then that allows you to run them using different mechanisms. So, and next week, I think I'll try to cover it next week, is I can look into reporting. So I look into reporting. So next week I will look into how we can actually report this beautifully using script. Okay. All right, then, so that is tags. So background is what we are looking into, background, and I think we've used scenario outline in one of our stories. So let's see, or if not, we'll try to use that also today. So scenario outline, and okay, unfortunately that's everything there is on this one, but that's not that sufficient. So more details, let's click here. Page moved. Okay, all right, so quickly I'll tell you what the background is for, so which is also another interview question. They can ask you what to use background for. In previous 1 minute, let me bring other. Okay, all right, so let's say for this is a good example. In this example now, there's some tests that there's some steps that are appearing every time. So you can use background to actually group those or to make those steps like a precondition, so you don't need to repeat them in your test. For let's say in everywhere this particular test is run, you need to navigate to the site, and also you need to click on registration link, which is appearing on both scenario. So in order, if you don't want to be repeating them for all your scenarios, you can put them in a background. It serves as like a precondition. So you can say background, then you put this. Okay, I said I'm going to be following this. So yeah, like they said, if you find yourself repeating the same giving step, it's not only for giving, you can use for other things also. So you can put them together, and so you put them in that particular background steps. So what happens is that background step is run first for each of your scenario. So for instance, if I do this now, I can cut those things. So bear in mind that because this when, so you can see this when I've already cut it off, and then this is only and now. So that's where this is showing purple. So for you to fix that, you need to add the when to this one. So if it's Java, I think that will not actually, like if it's Cucumber, that it will be fine. But for SpecFlow, you need to add the when clause or the giving clause, because automatically they become an orphan because they don't see the giving or the when clause that is attached to them, and the only thing that they see is the and. So you need to bear that in mind. Okay, then so what happens here is like this background is going to be run for each of the steps. So if I have something like this right now, it's going to say giving. This will be kind of let me step 1. Okay, hold on. Let's do this like that. Then that's step 1. Step 2. Then so this is going to be step 3, and this will be step 4, step 5. So that goes on and on like that, 6, 7, 8. And the same way also at this particular scenario, this will now be step 3, this will be step 4. So as you can see now, so this will be step 1, step 2, then step 3, step 4, on and on. After that has finished and you finish this scenario, it goes back to your background and start the step 1, step 2, then step 3, step 4. However, as you can see that my background now is also in my scenario, so I need to remove those ones. So if you don't, then that particular step is going to be repeated twice. So I give some clause. So you can, as you know, this is also repeating. You can move it to background and everything. So that in this one you might just need to start from here, and it's going to be all this will be in your scenario, while the rest can, because I think they are common, you can move them to your background. So that's how to use background, and so that it makes your test to be simpler, but it might be difficult to read because you need to look into the background before you can go into the scenario. But your test will be kind of smaller because you don't need to repeat yourself every time that your precondition is being executed. Okay, let's go again. I said I'm going to go through scenario outline. So I think we've mentioned we've done the data driven with Selenium using parameterized one. So there's a video for that. This is one way to send your parameter into your SpecFlow feature file. This is one way to do that. So, but another way is to write a scenario outline. So, scenario outline allows you to pass your parameter or data into your test. So, let's go through. I think we did that. Yeah, I think we did that. So on, yeah, something like that, yeah. So this is the scenario outline. This is one that we did. So allows you to pass your parameter into that, so that anytime, this is now 3 tests, as you can see, 1, 2, 3. Each one of them will go through the scenario, but passing the parameters that is attributed to each of the tests. So we'll move on. So this is for last 2 weeks, so you can check the video online. So I think if you go, yeah, there's that video. Yeah, so this will be the video using example and data driven. Okay. So that's that one, guys. So if you want to, this covers the end unit, Flint assertion, and using example and scenario outline. So okay, we don't need to cover that today. All right, so let's go again. I'm going to run this test right now. So like I said, we're going to focus on debugging. So I'm going to run all these tests. I'll run them normally. I'll see if any one of them failed. Then we'll try to fix them and see what happens. So how do I correct this error message? Finds by attribute does not contain a constructor that takes one argument. So let's put that into Google. So we come back to this test anyway. So let's quickly address this question. So what I can say is that when you find an issue, like any issue like that, I bet you might not be the only person that's faced the same issue or that's facing right now. So you just put on Google and you can see that there might be people that will have been in the same situation like yourself. Does not contain a constructor that take one argument. Let's say this is one. Okay, so one thing while we are looking at that, can you expatiate where exactly you are getting this, and also the code, so that I can get the context of the error message, please, if that's possible. So as you can see, you have this, it's saying that do not contain, but there's no find by attributes. So but if you read it, it can give an hint of what the issue is. In most cases, the question will be at the top, and the answer, you see some people giving you different suggestions on what you do. So some of them will be ticked. The first point of call sometimes is Stack Overflow, because it's kind of like a thread of different people asking questions and some people answering them. So you can see the trend, and also the one that is ticked is that the person that asked the question, I say, okay, this is the answer to the question. And some people will opt some answers, you can know what you need to look into. So let's go back to finds by attribute does not contain a constructor that takes. So okay, all right, cool. So this is the so I'm going to paste what is saying finds by our link using is equal to login. So let's see what the problem is. Finds by page objects. So as you can see from what we've done, I think we've done the page object before, and this is that. I think that's what she's talking about. Finds by using that. Yeah, as you can see, you cannot do that. You cannot. Okay, 1 minute. Let me just go back to. I'll copy because I think from the video you cannot see what the issue is. So, okay, I'm going to paste that here. Okay, yeah, this is what this person sent, and that's what is giving this error message. I'm going to paste the error message now. No, not that one. Okay, all right, that is the error message. That's the error message. So, and okay, that's the error message. So, how do I correct that? But if this is what you've written, this is not totally correct. As you can see, link text, that's fine. You are using link text, but this should be in a quote, like so. And that is the code for the login. So if you just put the login, it's looking at see is the class that you are referring to, and that's why it's saying it does not contain a constructor that take one argument. So you need to put them in a quote like that. I think so. As you can see, I've used the link text where, and I said register, and then that's it. If you can give that a shot right now and see if that fixes the issue, let me know. Okay, let's continue where we. Alright, so I said we're going to check these ones and see what that one failed. This one failed, and then why was it? So we need to look into why it actually failed. So you can go to the bottom and see what the issue is. One, I will show you what you are looking at for. One, you're looking at for the message box and you're able to read them. So this is saying invalid operation exception. This might not make sense to you, but in some cases, even though I know what that is, so you can as well just copy and paste and put it on the web and see if it can make head or tail from what that is going to return to you. Let's put that on let's close this one first. Okay, so let's paste it down. Okay, so it throws an exception that assert equal. So in some cases, you might need to look at those messages and cut them so that you don't put all of the messages and they don't make any meaning. So you can look at which one do you want to focus on. You want to focus on the system invalid invalid operation exception, you can copy that and then you put that in Google and you read about it, or you put this in there. So let's look at this one. Assert.equal should not be used for assertion. Use assert equals instead. So that is kind of explanatory. So it said assert.equal should not be used for assertions, but we need to use assert equal. So that is even giving us suggestions. So we just need to implement according to that suggestion. Then the second question is, where exactly is this issue? Okay, all right. So it's been confirmed that what we've done rectify that. So and that is what we did previously. The issue that someone complained about, this particular error message. So I propose that you should do this, and that actually fixes it. Okay, all right, cool. So please, as many as those issues, let it be going. I'll try as much as possible to look into that. So it's very important that we get through all these error messages. And so okay, now this one now is where you have equals, so instead of equal. So now, where is the issue itself? Where exactly do I need to change? Then you look down. Most cases, I would say look from bottom up, actually, from the bottom up. So this is where the one in the blue is where the issue started from, and then gradually it goes up. So you click on the bottom one, and you can see the bottom one is this one. That is where the issue is. Then I should be registered. That's where the issue is. But then this looks okay to me, okay, and I think it's fine. So and then I'll go to the next one that is blue, which is this one. Okay, this one now is a blue one. So that takes me to this one. So it said assert equals. That is what it's talking about. Yeah, I've used assert equals and I said true. So it said I should not use that. I should use assert equal. So I'm going to change that, then run that. As you can see, sometimes just having that attention to the error message helps you. You just need to go from bottom up. Don't worry about the white one. Just focus on the blue one that's been highlighted. So, and if you go click on that and click on, before you get to the top here, you should be fine. The top, this one doesn't even get you anywhere. So you can see this one takes you to where the error is, and you can, yeah, you're fine. So and yeah, that is fine. Let's run the test again. So as you can see now, I'm not running everything. I am only running the one that failed. So alright, so that failed again, but this time around it's the new message. Okay, the message now is that I am expecting false, and it was true. So why is that? Then you go into the one that is highlighted and you go. So as the same issue. So it's expected true, and it was false. So now you need to look at what is that is. So your expected behavior should be false, and it was true. So that means this is what you are expecting. This display false, but you are saying it should be true. But this is a wrong way to do things, because one, this should be your expected behavior and this should be your actual. So if you want to do, normally you do something like this. This is the right way to do it. Actually, it's true, and you put out. Let's comment this one out, and because you can swap this one also, let's comment this one and see what this one actually will give us. At this point, I think, as you can see, we are trying to use different approach to do our assertion. We've done assertion by n unit, and also we did the Flint assertion at this point. So that's what the example there that you are seeing are for. So if you have any question on the assignment, or you are facing any challenges, issues, please post them on the group so that we can look at them together. Okay, the question: where do you use SpecFlow without? Sorry, where do you use Selenium without SpecFlow and page object? Okay, all right. I think I've already uploaded this particular one into GitHub. The file. Okay, I think this is it. Oh, okay, I'm about to now. Okay, this will go in there later. So that is the training with and without SpecFlow. But the one without SpecFlow is the traditional SpecFlow without traditional Selenium without SpecFlow. So if you look into that, you're going to see traditional SpecFlow. So that one, I've got some comments, so you don't need to worry. So what I did was to declare my browser, then navigate and go to, then maximize. Then I use the traditional find element to find my element. Then, so this is where we also select different items. We use a multi-select, and also, yeah, and we find our element, and we did another send key. So, and we did the click. So, and also we close the browser. So this is at this point we did not use any page objects, and we didn't use SpecFlow at all. So, and this is it. The test is, that's the name of this test, blue sky form validation. So I can say blue sky form validation, let's say without SpecFlow. Okay, yeah, that is this particular test. So that is the one without SpecFlow that we did, and there's no page object in there also. Okay, does that answer your question? Okay, all right, let's go through this. Yeah, on this one now, as you can see, that one also failed because expected, and it was expecting true and it's false, which I think that makes sense. Let's go to that one. So this particular test will not, it's not the fail, it's not the pass because of the capture that we have. Where's that? Okay, it's already closed anyway. So something that we need to look into is what is okay. If you run this, it's going to display, it's bringing two additional browser. We need to look into why that is the issue. Why do you have additional browser being displayed? So what you can do is step run into those scenarios. So, and I know we have utilities where we have the before scenarios. So let's step into them and see why do we have many browsers being opened. Okay, and before. Okay, all right, let's run this right now using our debug mode. There's a question. Okay. So, if you want to know how your code is running, you put a breakpoint. Yeah, just click on the edge and you put a breakpoint. So now it's at this point it stopped. Normally it will just run everything and give me the result, but I'll put a breakpoint. So when the system gets to that point, I would put the breakpoint. It's going to stop there. So now I can click on that or press F11, F11 or F10. F10 will step over that particular code, but F11 will go into that. Let's go through. I am not interested in what this, because this is not my code, so I will just step over that one. So let's step over that. Okay, you can see that's the first one. This is okay, that's the first Chrome that is opened. So let's continue. Okay, so you can see that two Chromes are open even at that point. You need to know why do we have two Chromes opened, because now you have two Chromes opened. One, is it because we have before scenario and we have our background and everything? So you need to know why that is the issue. So okay, let's continue. So then it comes into the background, then does the navigation. Okay, then let's say I'm interested in what goes inside this. Then I can go to step into, which is F11. I can click that. So that takes me to inside the code. So, but I'm not interested. If I'm interested in the click on login, I can also go into that. So as you know, you can click on F12 to go into that particular code, or right click and say go to definition. That takes you there. Then you can go back to your previous step or previous screen that you were on by navigating backward. So this is where we were. So, and if I do F11, so that takes me into click on register, and I'm not interested in what click is, so I can just continue. So that click on register. So, and at this point maybe I'm not interested in what happens after, so I can click on continue for it to just continue without having to do step by step into the code. So I can click continue so that I just do everything as it is. So as you can see, it's not going to be able to register, and then once it's not registered, because of the captcha, it's going to throw an exception. So let's wait. Okay, so that's the exception. It's going to throw an exception. So that exception is what we have right now. So I think that is that on that one. Okay. All right. Another thing that you might need to look into is the output. So let's go. Let's say you have everything right now and you still have output here. So you can click on the output and see your steps. As you can see, where the error is this one. So you know where to look into. You can see all this one say done, 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 done. And then I should be registered. It's got error. And then you can look into what the error is and you can see them. Okay. All right. Let's go again. Now, for the next few minutes, I'm going to just look into what could go wrong in your test. What could go wrong in your test and how do you fix them when they go wrong? One of them I've mentioned before is the fact that you are running your test. I've seen a situation where you are running your test and when you run in debug mode, it is working. It's working, but when you run it normally, it's not working because it can't click on an object. The first thing you need to look into is in debug mode, your test will be very slow because you are going to be stepping into and everything. So if then in your normal mode, it's going to be very fast. So that singular reason will mean that maybe my test was very fast. That's why I was not able to see that object. The first thing you want to do is to put a weight in there. I think we look into different type of weights in the previous test that we did. Where is that? Okay, yeah, we look into weight. So maybe I can rename this test with so we've looked into different type of weights. So we've looked into implicit. So I said the first point of weight is for you to just try with thread or slip and see that if it solved your problem, then that's fine. So once you solve your problem, I would advise you to remove it and then put an explicit weight in there, or so that will be able to work. So we did this one last time, and I think we were trying to do the Flint weight. Let's Google that one out and we'll see what the issue is, how to do that. The Flint weight is very very good. So let's just, as I said, I'm going to use Google more today. Flint weight. You can see Flint weight instead of C#. So let's say that one. Where's Flint weight? That is weight, default weight. You can see there's different type of weight here that you can use for the thing. This is the weights I'm looking for. Okay, let's go to a different one. Okay, this look like it. So this is a Flint weight actually. So let's copy that and put that in our test. So, but what we're going to do to be a bit clever, we can create a method and call the method, or perhaps maybe let's create a class. Add new class and let's call it weight. So then we put public void okay, let's paste what we found. So that's what we found and we just pasted it, and you can see there are different error messages, so we need to fix those ones. So because sometimes when you copy things on the internet, you only copy the snippet, it's not the full stuff that you will copy. So but we can now update it anyway. So let's try to correct that one. So the first thing is that, so using, that's fine. Let's see what that is. Selenium. Okay. Now, so this one now is our driver. So we can put what the driver is. So what I can do is I can pass that as a parameter. I can pass a web driver as a parameter. No. So I'm passing it as a parameter, then I'll pass it here. So I think that, as you can see now, that is it. So, but this is going to be searching for ID equals that one. So for me to do that, I can set to say, so that one is not going to work for me, but I can use this code. But what's going to happen is now I can pass a string. I can say ID. So then this is going to come here. So that means I can use this particular method anywhere I want to get an ID. So that is very, very important. I can use it, so I just need to pass the driver and then the ID. Let's go into our code and see how that is going to work. So let's go into, let's say, one of the tests. Let's say this one, right? We know this one is failing, so let's go and I can say I can even create a method here, and I say, what is a valid one? Okay, and I can say, and I wait for element. So let's create a step definition for that. Okay, so if I press that one, so now for me to use that method I created, which is this one, right? I need to, you see that there are two things: instantiate this method because it's not static, or make it a static object. Then I don't need to instantiate, I can call it direct, but I will just instantiate it from here. So what's the name of the class? The name of the class is wait for elements. So wait for elements is equal to new wait for elements. So that's me instantiating that class. So now I can call any, for instance, if I do this without, let me bring that one out. If I do that dot, it doesn't bring anything out. So that's why you need to instantiate it, because it is not a static class. But if you do like the public static, and I think you need to make this one also static. So if you do that, and you can see that weight is coming in, you can do that. So that is when, if you have a static class, you can call the static class directly without having to instantiate it. So you can do something like that. Then you put, what's our driver? You put the driver here, and then what's the ID that we're looking for? Maybe you pass the ID. So my ID. If you know of any ID on the page that you're looking for, if you pass the ID as a parameter, so it's going to wait for that particular element with that ID. Let's say ID is login, so it's going to wait for the login ID, and it's not, so it does not out context. So what is the, where's the driver for this? With driver, okay, we're using the hook and driver, so just copy that one. Okay, all right, so that's one way to do that. So let's say now you did not declare it as a static class or a static method. So as you can see, that needs to be also static. Or if you do that, if you remove that, and let's see if we can be able to see that is still fine. So it's okay. So you don't even need the static in the class. But if you now remove the static from the method, right, and you go back here, so see, as because it's no longer static, you cannot call this class directly like that, or you cannot call the method directly from the class. So what you need to do is to instantiate. So this is used for static class. So as you can see, we did the same thing here also. This when we say hook driver dot, because if you go inside the hook, you will see that it will be a static class, a static method rather. So is the driver is static. So that's why I can call the driver there. And also so that's the reason why you can call the driver, because the driver is static. So otherwise you won't be able to do that or undo. Okay, all right, so let's go again. So to fix this issue, what you need to do is instantiate your class. Once you instantiated your class, you can call the class. Then if you say dot, you can see the weight is there. You can now bring that weight and do the same thing that you've done for the other one that was not instantiated. Okay, all right, that's one way to do that. So let's go to the method again. So this is the method for the weight that we say Flint weight. So I'm going to create another one because this is only going to be using ID, which is in most cases I might also want to use CSS. So you can do something like this also and say string CSS. So I can call this one Flint weight. So Flint weight by CSS. So in here right now, you want to say by dot CSS selector. Then you want to pass the CSS here. So then you can call it the same way we've called this one. But with dot Flint weight. So that's one way to do that. So another way also, if you want to be clever, let's copy this method again. So now I don't actually want to limit myself to the by. I want to be able to pass anything to it. So what you could do is you can put by, and you can put, maybe that's your by clause. But this is a bit technical if you don't want to land yourself in any trouble. So then this is going to be now the by clause goes here. So in your method, you need to now go into your method by CSS. So if I go here and I want to use the weight for element dot Flint weight by with by clause. So now if I pass my driver, let me pass this as it is. Let's see what you get. So if I do something like that, okay, I think while reviewing some of the code from other people, so some people, every statement in C# has to end with semicolon. So as you, I think right now you should be seeing that every statement has to end with semicolon. These are not statements; they are declarations. So, but after that, you have the statements. So, okay, let's come here. So, Flint weight by clause. So it's going to get your driver as parameter, and it's going to get the by clause. This is not a by clause. So your by. Now you are a bit flexible here on what you're going to pass. You can say by dot you can say id, or you can say dot css. So but let's first solve this. Okay, so you can say by class, also by link test, anything. Yeah, so you can see now at this point it is a bit flexible on what you can put. So you can put anything that you want to, anything that you find that you want to use to find that particular element. You can put it here. That's one way to also do it. So if you, the last one I want to say also now is you want to even use the element itself. You want to use the element itself. So, and that one will mean that by, let's say we find elements. So this will take iWebDriver from you, iWeb elements. So, but what's going to happen is this will now be the element. So this is the one I would favor, to be honest, because by this now you need just to pass your element to this particular weight, and it's going to wait for that element. So if you come here and you can say wait, you can call your method and you can say dot Flint and by find element, and then you can put your driver here. Oops. Dot driver. Then you can put your element that you found actually. So you can either put your element at the top and then, or you can say driver. Oops. So you are now very flexible on what you can use. So you put all your elements, everything by, let's say we try to go with the ID. So we have 1, 2, 3, and we close 2. Okay. So that is that. So, and that will mean that when you run that particular test, it's going to wait. So if you are having issues with wait, you can try different approach and see which one actually works for you. So let's go back. So I will go through it again. So I will explain what this is doing actually. So in the wait, because sometimes you need to understand what that is. So now this is the wait. The first one is the Flint wait. What's going to happen is setting the timeout to 5 seconds. So you're going to wait for 5 seconds. If you want to increase it, let's say you want to increase it to 30 seconds, you just need to change it. So it's going to wait for 30 seconds. Or if you want to do 1 minute, you just dot minute from minute. So, and you put 1 there. So that is the maximum time it's going to wait. But however, it's going to be pulling in every 250 seconds. 250 milliseconds rather. It's going to be pulling. So let's say your element is not displayed yet and you want to say wait. So, and you put the ID of that element and you are using this method. It's going to look on your page, and for after 250 milliseconds, it's going to look again to see is that element there. So if that element is there, then that is not to wait again. But if the element is not there yet, it's going to wait again for another 250 milliseconds and also go back to your page and see if that element is displayed or is visible. And if it's not there, then it's going to do again until this particular timeout has reached. So for instance, let's say I put 1 minute, which is too much. So most cases, maybe you put like 30 seconds in there, but like dot from seconds, and you put 30 seconds. So let's see. But however, it's not going to wait for the whole 30 seconds. That is the good thing about the Flint rate. It's not going to wait for the whole 30 seconds. Once that element is visible or is displayed, it's going to just go on, which is different from the one that we did before, which is the explicit wait and also the what's it called, the trade or sleep. The trade or sleep is very, very worse, but it's good if you are going to be using it as a starting point to know if waiting will solve your issue. So if you are finding issues that your test is running in debug mode and it's not running in the normal mode, you put trade or sleep in there and see if it solves it. If it solves the problem, then you try to see which type of wait method that you can use. I would advise that you use the Flint wait because that pulls every time and it helps you. So this method, I'm going to push it into Git. You can use it at any particular time, even at your workplace. So what you just need to do is take the class, and you can decide to see which one that you want to use out of the method that I have created right now. Okay, all right, so that is that in terms of weight. So you can use it anywhere. So that I've used it in my feature file. I can also use it in my let's say the traditional one. Let's say I want to now, okay, let's say in here right now, I now want to use it to wait. So let's go here and say, so I think I need to call declare wait for elements. So let's say I decide to use this because I've got some element that I want to wait for at the top, which is this one. So that is going to wait for that element. Web, no, I need to use the driver one. So let's see which driver am I using at the top. So I think there's driver here, so it should be fine. Okay, so what's it saying? So you need driver is passing, you need 2 arguments. Okay, alright, so that's it. So let's try to run that. This is this test, so I'm going to comment this once. So this is wait statement. So let me put more, and let's see. Okay, let's run it first. Then I will increase the timer, and so that we can see that it actually does something. So okay, there's error message. Expecting that was there. Okay, there's error message there. So one. Okay. So that. Okay. That's fine. Let's build it. Okay, alright. So this one failed, I think. Let's see why it failed. So the last time we were working on this, we think it failed because of the processing, right? So we thought that is because this particular no such element, unable to locate the element. So says unable to locate that element. So let's see where the element is. Where the element is. We thought we were looking for this particular element. So let's see if that it is. Okay, alright, that's the element being displayed. Okay, so what's going to happen now is for us to increase the timer. Let's increase the timer. It's saying 5 seconds. So I think let's say it's 30 seconds and run it again. Okay, alright, that is still not. So, and all in all, it takes 9 seconds, but that means it's still not working. So let's go to where the issue is. So that's where the issue is. So let's go. Alright, okay. Alright, this one I think, well, let's try to use the other one, right? I think that is better. So to be honest, so let's try to see wait for CSS. Okay, because I think it's not displayed, so that's why. So let's use the wait for the CSS one. Wait for CSS. Okay. Then at this point, we pass our CSS directly. Pass the CSS directly, and then I think we need to remove one. So 2. Okay. So then let's remove this one because that didn't work. Or I should have run it directly. Okay, that also is not found. So let's increase. Let's increase that to 30 seconds. Yeah, as you can see, that passed. So it's more than 30 seconds. That's why it's failing. No, it's more than 5 seconds. So that's fine. So you can see that worked. So that is fine. So you can use this particular method. So maybe we should not. We can remove this one because that is actually going to the element directly. So I would advise maybe leave this one. So yeah. But I will put it there for reference sake. So the issue with this is because when you pass that element directly, the weight is already it's not going to work on that element at that particular time. It's going to find that element and then start to wait for it. So that's where this method is not okay. But in most cases, if you put it in a what's it called, exception, in a catch exception, then it might work for you. But so I'll take that back. So I think we can use these two, by clause and CSS, and also normal weight. So I can rename. Okay, quickly. Also, you can refactor your method and rename it. So you can right click. Now maybe I want to change this to weight for element by ID. I can right click. I can say rename. So then I can rename all the content and everything, or so I can say weight for element by ID. So okay, then I can enter. So that is been renamed. So this one, I think we'll use this one somewhere. I can rename this one. In some cases, you might not see rename directly. You can go to refactor, and if you go to refactor, in most cases, sometimes you will see rename under refactor. So, but let's use this. But I want to say by ID instead of by ID by CSS. Okay, so now what happens is, we've used this method somewhere in our test, I think here. So that also is automatically renamed. So You can rename whatever you want to rename. Sometimes I can say I want to rename this. I don't want that name. I can say maybe I just want that to be weight. So that is name. So that you don't need to rename it everywhere you've used it. Automatically it gets renamed. So let's say even if you want to rename the method also, you can rename the the class. You can rename the class, or you can even rename the class from here. It gets updated. So yeah. So that is that. So and I'll talk about breakpoints. Okay. I've talked about the fact that if you move this across, for instance, if you decide to say this is where your den starts from, then that's going to break your test, as you can see, because all these tests it's on the when. So when you change it to then, this is now then. So because of that, it takes this as new test. So you need to know what makes your test to fail. So and you can change it. Okay. Alright, so I think that should be it. Any question? Okay, I was looking at this. Where's that? What we are meant to cover. So we covered the test-driven spec flow, getting. We covered units. We cover feature files. We cover step definition. Okay, I think we didn't do the Safari browser. I think it will be the same thing actually, to be honest. So let's quickly run that. Running WebDriver, Safari. So this is what is going to change from our code. Just need to change that for in our own case right now. If you, let's say we go to the traditional one, if you go to the traditional one, and instead of that driver is equal to Chrome driver, I will only say that. I will say that driver is equal to Safari driver, then I will add that to it. So that's it. So then I'll comment that one out because I'm not sure I've got Safari on this test. So let's see if I've got Safari. That's another thing that you should look into, most especially when you are running spec flow. So you should make sure your spec flow and your driver, they are they they align together actually. So and that your spec flow is the version that you have for your spec flow can also support the driver, whether Chrome driver or Safari driver that you have. So but for this I'm not using spec flow, so this should open on Safari driver, but you should also that you need to have Safari installed. But I don't have Safari installed, but let's see what the error is going to give to me. No, okay, yeah, one error. Okay, so there's issue with the Flint. Let's see. Does not contain a definition and no accessibility. Okay, I think I'll rename that one. Okay, yeah, I've commented that one out. I think that's the issue. So that's the one I said we should not use. So I commented that one out. So that is was our wait for elements. Yeah, this is the one I commented out. So that's why it's failing. Okay, alright, let's go around this one. I'm expecting it to fail because I don't have Safari installed. Yeah. So as you can see, it's going to, let's see whether the information it gives to us is self-explanatory. So it said if file Safari does not exist, then you can download it from Apple. Yeah, exactly. So that is one way. So then let's continue that. So the next one is Chrome. I think we've done the IE also. I can No, someone asked question, do you need to download Safari in NuGet package? No, you need to install Safari on your laptop or computer. As you can see, it said the that file does not exist. You can download Safari using Apple. Apple is from Safari. Safari is from Apple. The same way also IE can, let's do that also. Let's see if they go IE, run test on IE. Okay, for IE, this is it. Can we run Safari on Windows? I don't have Safari installed, so I can actually answer that question. So I don't know. If anyone knows, you can on the group. If you have Safari installed, yes, it's possible. So, but can you download Safari and install it on Windows? That's a different question. Okay, let's go to our traditional one also. So for IE, this is for Chrome. So if we want to use IE, so we just need to use this. No, I think that shouldn't. No, shouldn't. No, it's okay. So I'm going to comment this one out. Safari one. So then we can try to run it and see what IE is going to do. Okay, so that's how you're coming up. Okay. So and it fails. Okay. So browser zoom was set to 2. Okay. Alright, so you need to change that. So you can see some of the issue that you said is set to 200. It should be, yeah, because my zoom is set to 200. It should be 100. So let's run it again. So it's going to be a good advice to always check what you have on the error message. So that's it. Okay, cool. Okay, they say yes, you can run Safari on Windows. Okay, that failed. It was not able to find elements. So yeah, this can be an issue because we know this is really this is fine because it works on Chrome and it's not working on IE. It could be issues with the timing. So this was somewhere you will put your thread to sleep, to be honest. So you go to where it is. So this is this one. You can put your thread to sleep for here at the first and see if it's going to solve it. Then after that, then you put a wait statement for other one. In most cases, sometimes you could wrap your all your elements in a wait. Actually, just to your for your test to be what's it called, to be more reliable. You can wrap all your elements in in a wait statement. So let's continue with that one. So we've done that. Then I think we've done IE. So we've also done Firefox also. Let's go and check quickly with Firefox. Yeah, for Firefox it's going to be on Gecko. It's going to be the same thing anyway. So well, you need to install Firefox. So the same. Yeah, you need to install Gecko driver. Then after that, after you install Gecko driver, then you need to do that. Then you locate where your Gecko driver is and do something like that. So that's what you need to do for Firefox. So I'm not going to do this now, but I'm just going to copy and paste that. So paste that. So you need to have a Gecko driver and do that. So but let's do this. Okay, so what's the issue? Permission denied. So installing Firefox and update. So yeah, so okay. Yeah, I've already got Firefox on this project. So one question that was asked, so can you also not do it using Firefox drive using NuGet package and instantiating it? So you need to have Firefox already added to your project using NuGet package before you can do that, which is already added. If you go into the NuGet package, manage my NuGet package, you will see that I've got all those ones already there. If we go to my install, you see there's Firefox, there's IE, there's Chrome, and I think there's also Firefox and Firefox. So if you had drawn the what's it called, Safari one, it will have failed because I haven't added that one also. Okay. Let's continue. So, so that is ticked. So we've done the browse command, how to navigate, how to click. We've done the navigation, maximize. We've done different web element commands, click, send keys, and everything. We've done find elements and how to find different elements. 2 weeks ago, we did the checkbox, radio button, we did the drop down, multiple selects, table handling. That we didn't do, but we actually work with tables with SpecFlow. So how to inspect our element, we did that. Firebug and Firepart we didn't do. I don't think that is relevant with IE. So instead of, you could use, that's what is used. You can Google for Firebug and Firepart, but your inspect element is sufficient, to be honest. So they work the same thing with your Firepart and Firebug. So if you have your developer tool, that should be sufficient. So I don't think that. So yeah, and we've looked into HTML locator. How can we locate different elements? We've checked that. So by ID, by CSS, by class name, by XPath, and we'll try to use different during the course of the class. Yeah, element locator. Yeah, XPath, EPA. So yeah, we'll try to use that. So okay, weight, we've done this weight, implicit, smart, which is Flint. So switch, we did not actually do switch. I'll see if we can do that next week. So how to switch between windows, how to switch, I think we did. So if you, yeah, so let's just Google that switch command in C# WebDriver. Okay, so you can look into that. So it's possible that you got a pop-up and you want to switch into that pop-up. So what do you need to do? You need to, yeah, think with yeah, you need to do something like that. So the first one is alert button, then you put the name of that particular alert, then you want to click on that alert, and then maybe there's another alert open, then you want to switch into the second one. So that's what is for. Sometimes it could be an issue when you are trying to click an object, but it's been covered with an alert. You need to click into that alert. For you to do that, you need to switch, or your element or your object that you are trying to click is inside a frame. When you inspect it and you saw that it's been wrapped up in a frame, what you need to do, you need to first switch into that particular frame, and before you can do anything. Then after you've switched into that frame and you've done what you need to do, you need to switch back to the parent frame. It's very, very important. So I think if you need more, you can read this particular URL. So it's, yeah. So let's continue. So that's on the alert. So handling multiple windows, so it's almost the same thing. So if I have time next week, we're going to look into that. So yeah, so we've worked into how to set up framework. We've looked into page factory. I think this is not longer relevant. Optimizing your page battery module, encapsulating your page objects. We've looked into data driven with SpecFlow using examples. Yeah, so and also we've looked into how to send it as a parameter. So yeah, we cannot cover everything that is required, to be honest. So if you want, you can look into the videos that we have from class 1, when we first started, from class 1 with from class 1, when we covered the introduction, we talked about the process, we talked about the text techniques. Those are manual testing processes. Then we talk about the test process, test level. We talk about Trello, text techniques. Then also in class 5 is where we start the introduction to automation, which steps to set up the test framework. This is the first introduction, and after that, downloading. Then step 5.2, installing SpecFlow extension. 5.3, creating your test project. 5.4, adding Nugget packages. Then 5.5, creating folder structure. Then 5.6 was that creating feature files. 5.7a, creating step definition. 5.7b, then creating your step definition also. Then we went up also, we then use Git, page object with Git. Then after that, we move to 8, where we did assertions, and also we did creating the page object end to end, and also we used GitHub repository. Then later we use NUnit, we stepped with Flint assertion, and also we talked about the examples. Then also SpecFlow with page objects, we drop down and wait, and we cover other accessories. So I think class 9 is not relevant, so there's no point of putting that. So I think it was kind of, I actually did it also in class 10, so it's kind of a repetition. So okay, all right, that is everything right now. So yeah, any question? So I think we kind of covered what we plan to cover. So next week, I said, it's kind of, yeah, we're looking to API. So if you have any question, let me know. So this is kind of the end of the class. It's been, yeah, three months plus that we've started. So the API is just like, yeah, additional, yeah, buy one get one at price. So that's what we are trying to do. So okay, any question? Okay, if there is no question, I think that's also, thanks everyone for the time. So you can see it was yeah, it was tough. There are a lot of things that we have to think in. So yeah, the class, yeah. So but yeah, we got there at the end. So look out for all the videos that has been uploaded. So, and for those guys that are in the internship, so yeah, we still meet on Sunday. So you still have 2 weeks or so. And like I said, graduation is in the first week of April. So what date is that? First week of April. First Sunday of April. That's 7th. April is 7th. So that's where we're going to have the graduation. So the same venue that you had the workshop, that's what it's going to be. So yeah, please do attend. So yeah. All right. Thanks everyone.
Bye, Daddy.